Andrew Mack here from MMA Island. Today I'm with Aaron Hughes, who recently fought for Cage Titans and got a rear naked choke win. Aaron, how's it going?
It was a guillotine finish,
Oh,
man,
sorry,
but
guillotine.
but I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Fucking thanks for having me on, man.
So tell me about your background. How'd you get into martial arts?
So growing up, I was like 15, 16. My brother was actively competing in the New England MMA scene as an amateur. He had like 3 or 4 amateur fights. I went to every fight and got me into a huge UFC fan. And I remember I was like, I want to train, but like my mom was just like never having it. She was like super overprotective. So I turned 18, man. I walked into a gym one day and I just instantly fell in love. I've been training about 10 years now. And there's just nothing else that I want to do with my life, honestly. So I had no prior experience. I walked into a gym and took a Muay Thai class. I was 19 years old and instantly fell in love with the sport, man.
So is that gym your current gym regimen, or is it a different gym?
No, it was a different gym. It was called Pro Fitness. They ended up closing down. I was training there about 2 years, and then I just branched off, trained at a couple different gyms. Um, I was fortunately able to find Regiment Training Center. I've been there since 2016, and I just love the energy and love the vibes over at Regiment Training Center. All my coaches, all my training partners, it's like a family over there, you know.
So you said you've been there that since 2016?
Yeah, I started training at Regiment. I want to say like I was like cross training there in like 2016. I started training there full time in like 2017.
So you've been there for quite a while now. What do you think is the best part of that gym?
It's a small gym that has high quality coaches, high quality training partners. It's just like a family vibe, honestly. Like everyone has each other's back. Everybody treats each other like family, and yeah, man, just we've brought guys from all the way from beginners to the top of the sport. So I love it.
So your nickname, Short Fuse, where'd that come from?
Short fuse. So honestly, I don't remember exactly who gave it to me, but I do remember that um, I used to, like I'm super competitive, and anytime when I first started, like somebody would like crack a joke or I would get submitted or lose around in training, I would just get super upset. And one day some guy was like, "Hey, bro, you got a really short fuse," and then I was like, "Short fuse, Aaron Hughes, kind of rhymes, kind of sounds cool," and just kind of stuck with it, man.
Also, you have the Jackson Wink sweatshirt on. I know you're managed by them. How did either they find you or you find them?
So I fought first CES November of 2021, and my original opponent backed out 12 days before the fight with a shoulder injury, and I ended up uh, fighting a guy, Rakeem Thorpe from Jackson Wink, and I was super excited to test myself, and I ended up having a very competitive fight. And then the general manager of Jackson Wink reached out to me after the fight. I guess they were starting a management company, and he thought I had a lot of potential, a lot of skills, offered to manage me. I thought about it for a little bit, went out there and trained for 3 weeks, leveled up so much while I was out there. It was honestly insane. And I ended up signing the management deal with them. And honestly, I feel like it was a great move for my career and that they really have my best interest at heart. And yeah.
It's awesome. So with your most recent fight, you became the first person to fight amateur, pro, Muay Thai, and grappling cage titans. How does it feel to have that honor?
Yeah, it feels pretty good, man. My first amateur fight was for Cage Titans in 2015. I've done amateur MMA, I've done grappling, pro MMA, amateur Muay Thai. I got a win in everything except for the amateur Muay Thai, which kind of sucks. Would have been kind of dope to get in there and get a Muay Thai win, but it is what it is. And I'm just setting out to show everybody that I'm not just an MMA fighter or I'm not just a kickboxer. I'm not just a grappler. Like I'm very comfortable wherever a fight goes, and I'm extremely well rounded. And I feel like you can't be the best that you can be until you're testing yourself in other avenues of the sport. So that's pretty much like my mindset of why I was doing all those other avenues of the sport, just to test myself and just to get that competitive edge.
So I come from a traditional martial arts background, and I've met a lot of people that only believe in training one martial art. They don't believe in training anything else. Why do you think it's important to train multiple disciplines?
I mean, it's extremely important. For instance, like at the highest level of the sport, it's not like UFC one where Hoist Gracie was just going out there and submitting everybody with ease. Like everybody trains jiu-jitsu now. Everybody trains kickboxing. Everybody trains boxing. Everybody trains wrestling. If you're not well rounded in all avenues of the sport, you're not gonna go very far. And if you do go far, you're gonna get exposed very quickly. So being well rounded in the sport is an absolute must.
So talking about your fight at Cage 57 with your guillotine, not rear naked choke, and looked like you're about to like snap his back with it. Is that how you imagine the fight going?
Honestly, yeah, it actually is. I told 3 people the day before the fight that I was gonna win by guillotine in the first round. I actually like had the screenshot saved, and I was talking about it all fight week. I hit the move in the gym all the time. I've tapped black belts with it. I'm only a purple belt. Um, I've I've caught high level people, guys in the UFC, guys all over the country, and I won my fight before with this. It was literally the same exact setup for the move. So back-to-back guillotine choke finishes. I also have 2 finishes with the guillotine choke in grappling competition. So it's definitely a submission that I'm very comfortable in. Um, Honestly, I had it on him right at the beginning of the fight. He actually defended it really well. I'm surprised I didn't finish it then, but I knew if I just kept hunting it that it was going to be there, and I'm glad that I was able to get him out of there in the first round faster than a BJJ black belt did, and faster than a current UFC fighter did. So the guy has 25 fights. It was only my 6th pro fight. I'm fortunate that I was able to go in there, get it done quickly, and take no damage.
So is there anything from that fight that surprised you?
Um, he was a lot faster than I anticipated, but I honestly expected him to come out and try to grapple. I knew he was going to be super aggressive very quick. I wish I could have got to show my striking a little bit. But if people are just going to keep trying to take me down, man, I'm just going to keep going out there and snatching the necks up. So, yeah, nothing really surprised me too much. But he was definitely a lot bigger, and he was a bit faster than I anticipated. And he was actually a lot better on the ground than I was expecting. I was not underestimating him at all, because the last time I underestimated somebody didn't go my way. But he was definitely doing the right things, but it's just my time in the sport. Like I'm just on a different fucking level right now. So I wasn't too surprised, but maybe a little bit.
And you had a big viral clip after the fight with your post-fight interview, which I'll throw onto the video in post.
Hey, real quick. Hey, I came to throw bombs and bang moms, and I'm all done throwing bombs. So where the moms at?
All the moms, keep it going for Aaron Hughes.
Oh my God. He loves hot moms. Oh my God.
And I saw you posting up to the leap to the fight, some of all the stuff about moms too. Where does this shtick come from?
So honestly, it kind of started because just like the last like 3 or 4 girlfriends that I've had all have kids. So I just started calling myself Stepdaddy Hughes, and and it just kind of stuck. And I teach classes at a boxing gym during the week, and it's honestly a bunch of soccer moms that go to the classes. So they kind of just like put it in my head, like, no, you just got to keep going with it, Stepdaddy Hughes. So I was like, honestly, it fucking sounds kind of cool. And I saw the Barstool Sports shirt. It said throwing bombs and banging moms. So one of the moms that I trained, she screenshotted it and she sent it to me. She said, "You need to buy this." So I was like, I was like, all right. So I bought it. And then honestly, I envisioned myself saying that in the interview for like 2 weeks. Like I was actually like standing in the mirror. I was like shadow boxing, and then I would like raise my hands and I would like practice the speech. So I knew it was coming. I didn't expect it to go that viral. Honestly, it went pretty viral. It got like between like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, it got like 70, 80,000 views. So I didn't expect it to go that viral. I was honestly just saying it just for like entertainment. But if there's any single moms out there and you're watching this, you know where to find me, baby.
So we were waiting for you after your fight in the media room, and you never came. And my friend Combat Cowboy said maybe the moms got to him, we forgot to the media room.
So honestly, I was getting pulled in so many different directions. Like I actually sold a lot of tickets. So after the fight, honestly, there were like a bunch of the moms that I trained. Like when I walked out, they were all just pulling me in different directions and shit. I completely forgot to do media, and then I remember looking on Instagram, and I was like, "Fuck, people are doing media." I was like, "Shit, I was supposed to go do media," but at that point, it was already too late. But hey, it is what it is. Which is why I hit you up after the fight. I'm like, bro, we're gonna get an interview because I missed you at the fight. So here we are now.
Glad to have you. And I've been dying to ask you this. What does your mom think about that quote?
Honestly, so at first I was like, shit, maybe I shouldn't say this because like my niece was in the crowd. She's 10. A bunch of kids that I trained who were like 10, 12 years old were in the crowd. My mom was in the crowd. And then honestly, I was like, you know what? I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to send it. And I said it. And she honestly thought it was absolutely hilarious. She like shared it all over Facebook. She was like, only my son would say something like this. So honestly, she got an absolute kick out of it. I thought it was fucking hilarious. So yeah, man.
So going forward, so you said you took no damage. When would you want to fight again?
So I'm looking probably towards the end of May, probably for Cage Titans again, probably May 27th. I was talking to Mike Poveri the other day about some possible potential matchups. But I'm also keeping my options open. I know PFL has got the Challenger Series. I'm 3-3 now. I'm on a 2-fight winner streak, 3 finishes. So I'm just keeping my options open. I've trained every single day except the fight. I haven't taken one day off. Actually, even I just got a tattoo Friday. Still trained every day, whether I was lifting weights, hitting the bag, doing some shadow boxing. So I'm constantly training. I'm constantly staying prepared for the next opportunity, whatever it may be. I'm thinking May, but I'll be ready if something comes sooner.
So you mentioned your record, 3-3. I brought my cousin to Cage Titans. There was his second MMA event. He doesn't know anything about the fighters. He sees your fight with Denning, 8-16, 2-3, and immediately dismissed. I'm like, no, you gotta watch this fight. This is gonna be awesome. If you were talking to my cousin, how would you explain to him that fighters are more than just a record?
So 100%. Like, all right, so take a look at Matt Denning's record, right? He's 8-16, but he's fought guys 170 pounds, 185 pounds, 190 pounds. Like, if he didn't fight, like, Matt Denning's a natural 145 pounder, maybe even 135 pounder. So if you look at some of the guys that he's fought 2-3 weight classes up. Like, there's weight classes in the sport for a reason. So you take 7, 8 of those fights out of the picture. Matt Denning's 8-6, 8-7, right? Much better record. For me, I cut a lot of weight to make 145 pounds. So my pro debut was at 155. I lost my next 3 fights, all at 145 pounds. Honestly, possibly fights that I should have won that I don't think I would ever lose at 155 pounds. I fought in May of last year, had a completely dominant first round, took the guy down, took his back, almost finished him a couple times, and then got submitted in the second round. So like nerves and mentality play a big part in fighting. It's not just about going out there and putting it all on the line and just who's going to fall first. Like, there's so much that goes into fighting that people don't understand behind the scenes, between cutting weight, injuries, mentality, stuff going on in personal day-to-day life. And honestly, anybody who can talk shit about a record can come see me at the gym, and we'll see what they got to say after I smash them.
So a big controversy in the MMA scene recently has been judging. Mike Pulver recently announced that all commission officials will have a meeting after every event, and he's going to have monitors for all the judges. What are your thoughts on MMA judging and what Mike's doing to help make judging better?
I think that's a great idea. Honestly, man, judging in this sport is so fucking bad. Like, what was the fight for Bellator? What was it like
It was
last?
Dan Sabatino and Rafael Stotts or something.
Yeah. Like the fact that one judge scored that fight 50-45 is absolutely mind blowing. Like, listen, I don't miss an MMA event. I don't miss any fights, whether it's PFL, ONE FC, Bellator, UFC. I watch all the major shows. And the fact that one judge scored that shit 50-45 when this guy was just sitting on a single leg for 5 minutes getting his face punched in, like, I just don't understand what these guys are watching. Personally, I think everybody who's a judge should be involved in the sport in some way or another, whether it's they're a blue belt, purple belt in jiu-jitsu, they do a little bit of Muay Thai, even karate or taekwondo. Like, you need to know what you're watching. And some of these judges are just absolutely out of their fucking mind how they're scoring fights. I honestly just don't get it. So anything to increase the performance of the judges, whether it's monitors. Personally, I actually thought about this the other day. Instead of having the judges sit cage side, I think you should put them in a separate room, right? A soundproof room with no commentary on it, and watch the fights on a screen like that. So you can judge judge with no bias on who you think is winning the fight. And judges should not be having cell phones and stuff like that while they're judging fights. Like, they're getting distracted. They're not watching the full fight. So I think anything to improve judging as a whole would be extremely beneficial for the sport. Fortunately, I got 100% finishing rate between amateur and pro, so I don't usually have to worry about leaving it to the judges, but I don't ever want to be a situation where I do leave it to the judges and it's a fight that I'm sure that I win and I end up getting fucked. So
a lot of other people have said judges don't realize the ramifications that their decision can make. One loss or one win can either end a career or kickstart a career that doesn't deserve to be as good as it is. Do you agree with that?
100%. And honestly, like, I think that's why show win money is so fucking stupid, because if you have a fighter that completely dominates a fight but loses a split decision, he just made half of his money. So it just really doesn't make any fucking sense. So these judges don't really understand the effects that they are having on fighters and fighters' careers and stuff, because you could have a fighter who's one fight away from the UFC, goes out there and smashes a guy, loses a split decision somehow. Now he may never make it to the UFC. So there's major ramifications for sure.
What do you think about changing the judging criteria or the judging system, the 10-9 or the 10-point must system, and we're straying away from that?
I think the 10-point must system is the only system that we've known for MMA. But personally, like, some people are against live judging. I think live judging would be great for the sport, because you know if you're down, you know if you're up, you know if you got to pick up the pace, slow it down a little bit, put the guy in the cage, whatever. So I think the 10-point must system is okay, but I think live judging would be a lot more beneficial.
I believe Pulver is thinking about doing open scoring. There's a lot of arguments against it, which is making him hesitant, but we'll see where that goes.
Yeah, I don't really see why anybody would be against open scoring. Like, it's good to know if you're winning the fight or losing the fight. Like, I could have a very competitive round where maybe I got the better of the striking for 3 minutes, but I got out-grappled for 2 minutes. If I go back to the corner, my coaches are like, you won that round or you lost that round. It's good to know what the judges are saying, you know?
Oh, absolutely. Going back to you. So what do you do outside combat sports?
So I really don't do much, man. Honestly, like, this shit is my whole life. I quit my full-time job to pursue this dream. I do work part-time with traumatized children, kids between the ages of 12 and 22, kids who have experienced like serious trauma in their lives. So I try to be a role model for some of those kids and teach them a little boxing, teach them a little kickboxing here and there. Um, but I pretty much just train. I train 3 times a day. Um, I teach classes. I do one-on-one private training. And I play a lot of chess. And that's about it. I'm currently in school. I'm pursuing a degree in psychology. Just because I've worked with kids for so long that I figured it'd be a good backup plan to have. Not that I really have a backup plan because fighting is my plan A. But that's pretty much all I do, man. Is I train, I work with kids, I train other people, and I just grind, man. I just grind. That's all I do.
So what do you do to prevent yourself from getting burnt out from martial arts?
Nothing, bro. I fucking love it. I love training. Like, if I don't train, I start getting anxiety. I start getting angry. Like, I start being mean to people. Like, I need to train. Like, training martial arts changed my life. Like, I'm not one of those fighters who, like, you see guys win big fights. They take 2 weeks off, 3 weeks off. Like, bro, when I say win or lose, I'm in the gym the next morning. I'm in the gym the next morning, whether I'm training or just watching or just being in the environment. Like, I fought Saturday, right? Stayed till the after party, till like 2 a.m. Got home at 4 a.m. I was at open mat Sunday morning for 10 a.m. Okay? Wasn't training, but I was there chilling, helping people out, showing some techniques. The next day, Monday, 6 p.m., I was back training. No gi. Okay? I don't take time off. I need to be in the gym. And I'm trying to get to the UFC, bro. I'm 28. I'm not getting any younger. So the more time I take off, that's less time that I have to make it to the UFC. So I'm constantly grinding. I don't really get burnt out. I've been training 10 years. I've maybe taken 1 month off training and altogether combined in 10 years. So, yeah,
Awesome.
I don't think else, man.
So let's tell me about your short-term and long-term goals. Let's say short-term, under a year and a half, long-term, over that time.
So I don't know if you follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram, but I made a post yesterday. My goal for this year, so I got 3 goals, all right? Not just MMA, but life in general, okay? Goal number 1, by the end of the year, I'm going to be 6-3, 6 finishes, and I'm going to be a top 10 lightweight in New England MMA. Mark my words, okay? Featherweights, lightweights, I know who you are. I'm watching. I'm fucking coming, okay? Number 2, I want to be a 1,500 rating in rapid chess. I'm like 1,000 right now, and being 1,500 is like better than 95% of the world. So, I want to be 1,500. And number 3, I just want to keep growing my business, growing my brand. The goal is to not have to work part-time. So hopefully I could have anywhere between 10 to 12 consistent clients every week. I'm at about 5 right now, so I'm about halfway there. And those are my main 3 short-term goals for this year. Long-term goals, next year, man, try to get on the Contender Series. Dana White's looking for a fight. PFL, 1, Bellator, doesn't matter. It's not about the UFC for me. It's about going wherever's going to pay me the most amount of money. And that's my long-term goal is, like, to be in a major promotion within the next 2 years.
Nice. So I don't know how much of the fights you watched on the last card when you were fighting, but do you have a favorite out of the ones that you did?
Honestly, bro, like, I watched a lot of the fights in the back room. I had some homies fighting. Amanda Ferreira was fighting. That spinning back fist knockout was fucking fire, honestly. I got to say, my favorite fight of the night was Drew Arpin, man. That kid's a stud. He's only been training a year, and I was very impressed with his composure under fire, the grappling exchanges. That was such a, not only a high-level, like, amateur fight, but 2 debuting guys just went out there, put it all on the line, no quit, absolute fireworks. That was definitely my fight of the night for sure.
Who's your favorite regional fighter besides yourself?
I mean, like, biased or unbiased? Like, teammate?
Both.
I gotta say my favorite regional fighter's gotta be the homie Mitch Raposo, man. I mean, we train together every day. He's one of my best friends. We trained out in Vegas together. Um, so I gotta say him. The people I don't train with, I train with a lot of people, but somebody I don't train with that I enjoy watching. Honestly, it'd have to be Johnny Cupcakes. Just because he fucking goes out there every fight, he comes to fight, win or lose. You know you're gonna be in a fight, and he brings it every time.
Your favorite submission to hit?
Come on, bro, guillotine, bro. Come on. No, honestly, the guillotine is not even my favorite submission. I'm just really good at it. Like I just got really good at it really fast. I gotta say, my favorite sub to hit is the armbar. I fucking love hitting the armbar. Like it's one thing to like choke somebody unconscious, but it's like to just like break somebody's arm. Like yeah, bro, I just broke your arm off and beat you with it. Like I think that's fucking sick. So definitely an armbar, but my best submission is definitely guillotine for sure.
Your favorite one of your fights?
My favorite one of my fight. It's got to be a 7-second knockout, bro. It was an amateur fight. I was 2-3 at the time. Took the fight on 24 hours notice on weigh-in day. It was 2 weight classes up. I was running around all day getting medicals done. I was driving for Uber in Boston at the time, and my coach called me. He's like, "What's your weight?" I'm like, "I'm not sure." He's like, "I got a fight for you tomorrow, Cage Titans. You want it?" I was like, "Sure, let's fucking do it." So showed up, made weight, had to cut like 3 or 4 pounds, made weight, got medicals done, went out there the next day, knocked this guy out in 7 seconds. It was the first time I ever knocked anybody out. It was fucking sick. So definitely that. I gotta say though, last fight was definitely one of the top moment in my career. Besides, like my pro debut was fucking wonderful. It was in Tennessee, like across the country. But last fight, 100 tickets going out there, submitting a Bellator vet, World Series of Fighting vet in the first round. That was probably the top moment of my career for sure.
And your favorite fight that's not yours?
Local or UFC?
Either one.
My favorite fight of all time has to be Jose Aldo versus Chad Mendes too. That fight was absolutely bananas. I also really liked Michael Chandler, Justin Gaethje. That was also a great fight. But my all-time favorite fight is Aldo Mendes too, for sure.
What's the most important thing that you learned from your amateur career?
You got to test yourself, bro. Like, these people going out there trying to take easy amateur fights, like, that shit ain't going to get you nowhere. You got to test yourself and fucking believe in yourself and taking knowledge from everybody, whether it's a day one white belt or somebody who's been training 20 years. Everybody has something to offer. So just listen to what people say. Take fucking hard fights. Challenge yourself. Do MMA, do boxing, do kickboxing, do jiu-jitsu, do all these different avenues of the sport.
And the most important thing that you've learned since you've gone pro about a little less than 2 years ago?
Got to put in the work. You got to stay in the gym. You can't take time off. And honestly, the most important thing I've noticed in the last 2 years is I started working with a nutritionist. Her name is Trisha Cornell. I haven't worked with her the last 2 fights because it's at 155, and I can pretty much make it like no problem. But she taught me so much about nutrition and what it does for the body. And I noticed such a big difference in my training, how I'm cutting weight, how much easier it is to make weight, how I feel, how my body looks like. If you look at my body from my last amateur fight in 2019 to now, it's completely different. Like I barely had abs back then. Like I had no muscle on my body. Now I'm pretty shredded all the time with decent amount of muscle. I feel great when I'm training. So definitely how important nutrition is for a fighter is probably the most important thing that I've learned.
I also heard that you were put in Facebook jail. What happened there?
Dude, what the fuck, man? I get put in Facebook jail. It's always like before a fight too. Like I've been put, like my last 2 fights, I got put in Facebook jail like the week of the fight. So I couldn't even promote my fight. I couldn't post away in pictures or anything. So 2 fights ago, I was talking to Zachary Searle on Facebook, the fucking Cage Titans troll, and he was talking shit. And I was like, bro, I can't wait to choke you out in the back room when I see you. And I got banned for 30 days for saying that. And then the last fight, somebody posted a picture of Chinese food on Facebook, right? And I was like, I would fight someone for Chinese food right now. I got banned for 12 days. I'm like, bro, are you kidding me? Facebook's so soft. And then there was another time that I posted about a fight. I was like, I'm going to smash my opponent tomorrow. And I got banned for that too. I'm like, bro, I'm a fighter. How am I supposed to fucking promote myself if I keep getting banned?
I'm gonna hit my opponent with my unicorns and rainbows.
Yeah, for real.
All right, before we finish off, any shout-outs you want to give? Anything else you'd like to say?
Yeah, man, of course. I got my mind on a couple opponents for the near future. And I'm looking forward to going in there and showing these guys what's up, that they got to stop sleeping on me, man. Like, I know I'm one of the best fighters in the area. I've proved it time and time again to myself in the gym. I've trained all over the world. I've trained in Las Vegas. I've trained at Jackson Wink. I've trained at Team Alpha Male. I've trained all over the place. I know how fucking good I am. It's about time people start seeing it. And as always, man, shout out to my team. Shout out Regiment Training Center, all my sponsors. Shout out to Cage Science for being the best promotion in New England by far. I fought for all of them. Just shout out New England MMA, man. Like, I'm fucking pumped for the rest of this year. It's gonna be a huge year for me, and I'm very passionate about the sport. I'm very passionate about what I do, and I'm just excited to go out there and show my skills. And all these guys that I got my eyes on, y'all better watch out because I'm coming.
So what are these names are you talking about?
So I got my eyes on a couple guys. We got Aaron Lacey. He's 7-4. I think that's a great fight for me. I know I'm 3-3, but I know I'm just as good, if not better than him. I got my eyes on him. Zach Richard, he's another wrestler from Maine, two-weight champion as an amateur. I think that would be a great fight. And then I've been trying to run it back with my guy Kenny Champion. I fought him for the amateur featherweight title in 2018. I'm a completely different fighter now than I was back then. And I think that would be a great fight to go out there and show my skills and show how much I've improved and go out there and get a dominant win. So any of those three guys, if y'all see this, y'all better watch out because I'm coming.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me, bro. For real.